It's discount day at chessbase.com. Yes, for 24 hours you can get 25% off all products, including my PowerPlay DVD series. There we go. All 28 of them, 25% off for 24 hours. An absolute bargain. And the great thing is, they're all available as downloads now. You don't have to buy the DVDs. You don't have to look like an idiot like this. You don't have to find space on your shelf. They're all available as download. In fact, you can buy all 28 as a package at a massive discount, plus the 25% off. Do check it out, chessbase.com. Openings are covered, middle game strategy, openings, Queen's Gambit declined for black, great opening. Attacking repertoire for white. You can buy an attacking package. Oh, hang on. Put those down there. Attacking for white, opening repertoire. And of course, the last two, the King's Gambit. 2 DVDs, downloads on the King's Gambit. And, well, they've been very well received. Do check them out. And that gives me an excuse to look at another King's Gambit game, a fairly recent one from Nepomniachtchi playing white. Now, Nepo, he plays the King's Gambit a lot and he has fantastic results with it. And I think it's really interesting to see the way that he plays it. So here we go. Nepo with white. This was played in a rapid play game on chess.com in August. And his opponent, who's rated 2590 to 91 here, José Eduardo Martinez. So, you know, decent player, but watch what happens. Now, h6, this has a fairly good reputation. Black intends just to support the f-pawn. But let's see how Nepo deals with it. d4. Now, if g5, my recommendation on my download, my DVD, is g3, just to break up those pawns. I think this is a very interesting way for white to play. But black plays with d5. This is a little bit unusual. Of course, it's sound strategy to counter in the middle. If e5 here, then g5, and the center is blocked, don't like that for white. You've got to keep things fluid. So e takes d5 played. Knight f6, and here I think I would just play bishop b5 check. But Nepo, well, he hangs on to that pawn. c4, very interesting. So material is now even. Who is better here? It's just very unclear. Nice pawn chain. Blocks out this bishop. That's a bit annoying. Knight c3. Bishop g7. And now the e-file is open, queen e2 check, and that's a little bit awkward. You could block with the queen, but actually these kind of endgames, they're quite well known that in this kind of situation, white often gets very nice play here against the king. Sometimes you castle queenside, sometimes kingside, and you still have chances to break open the f-file actually. Martinez plays king f8. Well, there are pros and cons to that move. Gets the king out of check, of course. I mean, one of the advantages is that sometimes that can be a little bit awkward for white, having the queen on e2 blocking this bishop. Here, I still like the move g3. I think that's a very nice move to break up those pawns. But h4 played. Now, this is a typical move in the King's Gambit, and you know, you want to try and break up these pawns, and if g4, then yeah, then the knight comes in. This pawn is then vulnerable. I mean, after g4, one could even consider just giving up that piece and playing this position. You know, the king is at the end of the f-file. That's actually very dangerous. But after h4, Martinez plays an excellent move. Knight h5. Oof. This is tough. The knight heading into g3. Knight e4 covers the g3 square and attacks g5. G4. Knight e5. Well, the position is already reaching boiling point after just 11 moves. And here, well, actually Martinez makes a mistake. I think even in a classical game, this position would be very hard to understand, very hard to get to grips with. My computer tells me that the best move here is, can you guess what the best move is? Queen e8. Really? It looks very unlikely, but apparently that's the best move. But instead, f5 was played. Attacking this knight. Obviously looking to get in here, but watch what happens now. Knight c5. Those knights looking pretty menacing. Knight g3. And here, knight e6 check. This is nice. That has to be taken. Knight g6 check. Oh, that's nice. We can take this bishop with check. So that gets the queen out of trouble. King h7. And then Nepo just took the rook in the corner. Now, question for you. How would you play here with white? White is already... what's the material? Black is actually exchanged down. How would you play with white here? White play. Well, I hope that you're playing in the spirit of the King's Gambit. And you're not afraid to give up material. Bishop d3 is a good move. And if knight takes rook, bishop takes pawn. And for a piece, white has tremendous compensation there. You know, these pawns are vulnerable. The king could castle here. Or maybe chase that knight. King e2 and rook takes knight. Excellent compensation. But Nepo played rook h2. Now that looks strange to me. The rook just looks trapped there. Does white have time to take this pawn, get rid of the knight, bring the rook back into play? Who knows? Black plays excellently here. Really good move. Can you spot it? Knight c6. Excellent move. So not as materialistic as Nepo. You know, if that's taken, then the queen will head into the game, and that looks beautiful. Bishop takes pawn. Knight takes. Attacking the queen. Queen f7. And here, now Martinez grabs that rook in the corner. The temptation to take material was too great. Instead, okay, let me just show you one variation. This is fun. Black should exchange queens. And here there's a beautiful idea. Knight h5. And if bishop takes pawn, okay, how do you play as black in this position? Black to play. I'll have a slurp of tea. You have a think. Black to play. The move is knight b5. Attacking the bishop, and if pawn takes, then bishop d4 is checkmate. Wow, that is brutal. All these squares covered. But instead, black was greedy. Knight c2 check. And then the rook was taken in the corner, and bishop takes g3. So what's the material now? In fact, it's even material. And I can imagine that black thought, yeah, after c6, maybe the queen is going to pop out here. The rook looks dreadful. Surely black is doing well here with that rook out of play. But here, white has a winning move. There's only one winning move for white in this position, according to my computer. Bishop c7. It's a great move because it just shuts the queen out of play. There's no good square. I mean, you can exchange queens, but that doesn't look entirely right. Or maybe, no, exchanging queens looks pretty bad for black, that is.
I can imagine this pawn might well steam through here. Yeah, it looks terrible. Queen c8 plate. Bishop d3. Watch out. Pawn takes, bishop takes, and the rook comes back into play just in time. Watch what happens. b5. Black is desperately trying to find a path for the queen to get into the game, but it's too slow. Rook e1, rook e6. What a transformation to go from h2 to e6, threatening the queen, threatening mate. And now just some spite checks from black, really. White can evade the checks very easily. Let's go to the end. Knight c2. That was taken. Some more checks. The king steps boldly up the board. No fear. Because at this end of the board, well, that's where white's pieces are. And with the protection of white's pieces, the king is absolutely secure. And the sensible checks have run out. And on the next turn, this one or that one, that's going to be checkmate. Fantastic game. You know, I just love it that you're right today, in the present day, there are these still beautiful, wild, romantic games that are still played in the King's Gambit. And Nepo has done a brilliant job in, you know, keeping this opening alive. Do check out his games. They're absolutely fantastic. There you go. Anyway, if you're interested in the King's Gambit, do check out my 2 DVDs or downloads from chessbase.com. Chessbase.com, 24 hours, 25% off the PowerPlay series. Thanks for watching.